I'll tell you that. Mostly because I'm on the stage and I'm talking to a bunch of people. I never did this before. All right. So just hold on a second while I picture the entire audience naked. All right, I'm good. So how are you guys doing? Feel better now? Does the Power Network attract the sexiest people on earth or what? So I don't have a whole lot of time up here, guys, and I do want to share with you my story, and I don't have a whole lot of time to do it. I think it's really a good story, so I hope you'll pay attention and listen. And as we're going into that, I should say in front of this, pull out your phones, pull out your video cameras, get this on footage, because my story makes a lot of sales for me. And if you share that story, chances are you make a lot of sales with it as well. Post it on your blog, post it on YouTube. Anyway, so June of 2012 was actually one of the lowest points in my life, if not the lowest. I was coming off of another failed business venture, and that had basically been my experience the entire 8 years leading up to that. And there was about a week in June, and I shit you not, where I could not sleep at night, because I was up at night wondering, what if I'm just never going to make it? 8 years as an entrepreneur, failing. I thought, what if I'm just lying to myself? What if I'm not going to make it happen? What if I just need to be honest with myself and accept that I'm going to have a job for the rest of my life and die broke? It was tough being in that space, up late at night, tears in my eyes. And I had seen stuff on YouTube, I'd worked with mentors before, and I'd heard somewhere, success is getting up just one more time than you've been knocked down. And so after I fought those forces of evil in my head, I got back up. I had no income, no savings, no checking. I went out and I got myself a job working at a cafe, making coffee for a living, for customers who weren't really all that nice until after they got the coffee. And I knew, though, that fire that burns inside us as entrepreneurs, you can't put it out. It was still there. And so a few weeks later, I see this ad on Facebook. I watched this Power Network sales video again for like the 8th time, and I'm like, you know what, there's got to be something to this, and listening to myself ain't working. So why don't I just listen to these guys? And I got started. And I didn't do anything in the beginning. I didn't know what to do, right? So I got to an event in San Diego last year. And that was my first event, September of last year. And the day that I decided to go, the day that I made the decision that I was going to go to that event, I had $37 in my checking account. I was listening to Justin Berengio on a Monday night call, and I made the decision that I was going to go to this event no matter what. I had to make it. I had $37 in my checking account that night when I got home. I went home, I went into my closet, I found a bunch of stuff that I could sell on Craigslist, and I started finding stuff. I went to work the next day, and I started telling everybody, hey, I'll take Wednesday for you. I'll take your Thursday shift for you. And I started picking up every shift that I could get, just so I could get the money to get to this event. So eventually I did, and the day that I bought my flight, that was all the money I had in my bank account. Again, so I'm broke again. I had to borrow money so I'd have spending money when I got up to the event. And so I get to this event, and it's day one, right? I'm in this hallway, there's like thousands of people or whatever, and I realize I just spent $800 to get to an event, and I have a $25 product to sell. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Because I didn't get all in, I was broke, right? And so I'm sitting at this event, and about 2 hours into the event, Dave Wood is speaking on stage, and he's talking about the Empower Network story. Right, the journey that they went through to create the company. He's talking about the financial, like when the banks shut them down and stuff. And he said, he has tears in his eyes when he's standing on stage, and he starts talking about the solution. And there was a point there where he said, because when you have a dream, nothing can stop it. And there was it just hit me like a freight train, man. I'm sitting there and I could feel like my brain matter shifting, And I was like, gee, he's right. I've had a dream for a long time. I've let a lot of stupid things stop me. So after that event, it was that moment where I made the decision, you know what? Not this time. So I went home, broke, I think I got home with like 10 bucks left in my pocket. And I was like happy that I made it home with any money at all. And so I went to my friends, right? I'm like, hey, I gotta borrow some money, man. I'm starting up this business. I gotta borrow some money. And my friends are like, dude, you're broke. I'm not loaning you money. That's a bad idea, right? And I can't blame them. So after being home for a couple of nights, my mom and I are talking. She's like, oh, how's that event you went to? And I was like, oh, it was great. I'm telling her about it. Long story short, she loaned me the money to get all in. And from that day, the next day, she gave me the money. I took it down to the bank. I went straight to my back office, and I upgraded. And I bought everything that I could buy at that time. And then I went to work. I started posting stuff on Facebook. I didn't know what to do, but I knew that I wouldn't know what to do until I started doing something. Right? And I just took action. 30 days later, I was able to pay my mom back. Over the next 90 days, I made about 10K. Results not typical. If you want to be typical, probably go someplace else. Saying it, tell it like it is. So 90 days later, I made about 10K. By month 5, my manager was like, dude, you gotta quit this job. Like, you're making a ton of cash over here. Why are you still here? And I was like afraid to quit my job, right? Because I'd quit jobs so many times as an entrepreneur and then been broke, like the business didn't work and I have no income, right? So I was afraid, but she made me do it. So I quit. I put in my 2 weeks notice, 2 weeks before we flew out to the event in Chicago. And that next month, my first 5-figure month. My first month hitting 10K, which was a big goal for me. Now 10K is kind of a slow month. I'm like, man, it's a slow month. Only 10K. Right? And so that's kind of my story. And, I don't have a whole lot of time here, so I wanted to share this with you. What I learned here through this journey is that our past does not define us. It's not who we are, right?
That's right.
How is it that a year ago, a guy who was dead broke working in a cafe, not even paycheck to paycheck, because the paycheck was gone well before the next paycheck arrived, how does a guy that's in that situation come up here and be on stage in front of you a year later? Why? Because I made a decision at the event. Right here, the shirt says it all. Because I said I would. That's why. And I was willing to do whatever it takes. If you don't take anything else away from this event, take those 3 words with you. Whatever it takes. And so, my message for you is, I don't care if you failed in the past. It doesn't make you a failure. I don't care if you've lost in the past. It doesn't make you a loser. I don't care if you've been, confused. It doesn't make you a fool. And I don't care if you've quit. It doesn't make you a quitter. Because right here, right now, today, you can make a decision that changes your life and go out there and get what you came here for. Who's with me?